Oh, hey, M. Phillips. I feel like this place has like, what do you call that? Like when people sing in like bathrooms because it has that not surround sound. What is that? What do you call it? Like it reverberates or, you know what I'm talking about? I didn't know if, oh, acoustics. Yes. Thank you, Martha. And Ava, okay, people are actually already doing it and everything. So if you can press the orange heart, that'd be great. Or give gifts like Jenny and Ava have done. Or hit the screen, double tap it with the hearts like some folks are doing. And yeah, a lot of echoes. Thank you, Kimmy and Nicole. And yeah, Nicole and Sarah Renee reached level 10 member. Way to go. Thank you. And then the other thing, oh yeah, and folks can share. Oh, Nick was spotted out today, says Amy. Is that so? Thanks, Susanna. Yeah, so I don't know how this sounds because it feels like it has a lot of like reverberation in the space. It is literally so large, y'all. I mean, the sheets could be cleaner, but the room is huge. Thanks, Jenny. Very echoey. Yeah. Amy said photo on Twitter of her at a pub with Jake. Jake Dunn? Katie in the Palm says there are pics of her on X having a Guinness. Is it something recent? Hello, Rena. Thanks, Dowsey. Minnie, ugh, what a day. Yeah, there's a lot of things. And Phillips has a little echo, but it sounds fine. We can hear you clearly. Great. So no issues with the Wi-Fi or anything, which is good. Nicola says Ryan was very nice to us today. It was like Christmas. Thank you, watching lady. Nicole said, yeah, I sent you an email about Nicola being spotted. She was with her friend Jake Dunn. Thanks, Jess. Okay. Yeah, I haven't thank you, Sarah. I haven't had a chance to read it, Nicole. Oh, well, obviously, because I look shocked. I was like, oh, really? So I am, when I was driving I was riding in the vehicle, I finally got caught up with emails, but then I'm like, did I? Because there was someone who bumped up their message to me as a reminder to respond to their message. And I read it and then I lost it again because I read the message that was saying I'm sending this as a reminder. So now I'm like, I gotta look back. But now I have a new crop of DMs to get back to. And I'm like, it's never ending cycle. But at the same time, I really love it because I really do enjoy interacting with folks. So I'm like, you asked for this, so here you go. Let's see. Glaza Gabbalo 908 says, can you give us a tour of your room? I actually already did a story. I mean, it's literally a room. So like the bathroom is like right jammed up near the door. And so is the sink, but the room is massive. But if you look at my story, it's already there. And there's nothing extra from what I showed in my story. Like a bunch of beach emojis said, I sent you a link for an edit of Luke and Nicola to Delicate by Taylor Swift when they both say, isn't it cute? I think I saw that. Unfortunately, I was in the vehicle, and they were like, my car companions were all talking and I didn't want to be rude and like try to put the sound up, and I didn't have any ear stuff because y'all know I don't like to stick things in my ears, and I didn't have anything. So I just kind of guessed at what it was happening. But it makes sense that it was Delicate because she does say, isn't it, or something. The Dragonfly MI, the PR deep dive was interesting. I have my own... People have given me that, and I'm gonna show my bias immediately right now. And I own my bias, totally own my bias. But I'm not a fan of people who don't have a direct direct firsthand experience with Luke, who may have background in PR, judging his actions based off of an outsider perspective. And there was nothing in that PR deep dive that gave me the impression that this wasn't watching from outside. And so then I get defensive or protective of Luke to say, like, these are a lot of assumptions about Luke, who Luke is as a person, that I'm not ready to make. And maybe this person is telling the truth, but I was like, where is the personal actual contact with Luke? This is like a lot of evaluation of what you know, a lot of it is hearsay to me. So one of the things I had said before is like, every emotion is valid. It's just the information that informs that emotion that may be incorrect. And there's a lot of things that, yeah, if what you're telling me about things that Luke is doing was true, then maybe I would arrive to the same conclusion. But what I think, people are just assuming he's being this way or that way. But I'm like, but where's the proof that he is being this way or that way? Where is your actual engagement with Luke as a person to even make this evaluation? It feels very outsider, but it's still like the same, like it has the background of PR. So they're using that knowledge of PR, but I still don't think I'm ready personally to agree with it because of where my bias lies, which I own fully, that I'm not ready to look at Luke in that light unless there's something so legitimately like objective evidence provided that they're making a true evaluation of who he is as a person. Thanks, Ronnie. Sorry, I was looking away from the screen a lot, so I don't know if people gave or did other things that I didn't thank them for. And as folks know, sometimes I don't get a chance to thank people. Please don't think that I am like not appreciative, because I always am. Claire said, I think we are all watching from outside. Exactly. All of us are watching from outside. That's why I said my personal bias is this way, because I have no personal contact with Luke to know whether people are right about this or that. I'm just saying that if I don't have a personal relationship with someone, and I like the person, I want to believe the best in them first. Like I tend to be a person that tends to believe in the best in people unless they've done something repeatedly that has shown me a pattern that makes me go grr. And maybe that's the thing with this person. Maybe they've seen a repeated pattern in Luke that they, you know, because of their own personal experience, they feel like, oh, I can evaluate that to mean this way because I've seen this in the past before, which is a very valid thing, that we all take past experiences and decide for ourselves whether or not we think something is one way or the other. So I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that the PR thing is not true, because I don't know if it's true or not. I'm saying that I'm not personally ready to believe it's true, because, you know, when you already agree with something, you don't need much evidence to believe it, because you already agree with the conclusion. And yet when you don't agree with something, you need like tons of evidence before you're willing to consider it. So that's why I'm saying I'm acknowledging fully my bias, because I'm saying you're going to need a lot of evidence to make me consider that all of these kind of negative, like mean kind of connotations about who Luke is something that I'm ready to accept. So, hi Karen, thank you. Again, I am saying this fully with full acknowledge of my bias. I could be wrong, and this person could be absolutely right, but I'm just not ready. And could we please refrain from bringing any Luke adjacent folks' names up, or even if you don't say the name, when we know you're talking about the person, can we please avoid it? Because, I mean, this PR statement was already kind of a Luke adjacent statement anyway, because this person, again, is like looking from the outside and making judgment calls on assuming that Luke is hard to work with, which feels like super opposite of everything that we've ever heard of about him from the very people that work with him. So why am I going to take somebody else's word that has shown no proof that they've worked with him directly versus those that have worked with him directly? I have a hard time with that, and with full acknowledgement of my bias. Sharon says she's filming Magic Faraway Tree with Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy right now in Reading or Reading. I don't know. Is this overseas, or is this in where is that located? Marissa said that's me too. It can be a problem to believe the best first, but I prefer doing that. Yeah, I mean, definitely there could be problems in believing the best first rather than the worst. I mean, sometimes that's a discernment thing, right? Like, I tend to be a Pollyanna. But if I'm going to be wrong, I'd rather be wrong. Well, okay, there's certain situations where it's smarter to be like, to think the worst. Like, that's kind of self-preservation if you want to be smart about like taking care of yourself, that kind of piece of it. But like in this case, I would rather believe the best rather than the worst. It's just, I just have a really hard time. I really have a hard time when I feel like I own my bias because I speak out my bias. And I worry more when people act like they don't have a bias, but they clearly write their bias. Because if we didn't have a particular bias, we would, if two people don't know Luke personally, and one assumes that he must be motivated by this or that or whatever. Thanks, Ronnie. I just feel like there's been a bent in that place to be not for Luke. So then it makes me more weary when I read things, because I'm like, I've seen a pattern that you already don't like Luke. I don't know if they don't like Luke. More than, I guess, the way they interpret what Luke does has the tendency to be negative in my eyes. Bree said he has been promoting for months. He probably just wants a break, and I don't blame him if he does. Miss Nori said none of his co-stars have ever said he was difficult to work with. Haters are just talking. I feel so too. And especially when I read the article that was written, I guess, early January 2024, when he was talking about how like this fame thing, like he's trying to cope with the fame, like it's all brand new to him, and they're making it sound like he is just like such a hard client. And I'm like, how can you say he's a hard client when it's not your client? Now, mind you, it could be his PR people are talking to them. Maybe that's a possibility. But still, it's still hearsay. Well, not hearsay. At least it's a little bit closer if they do have a relationship with his PR team and their PR team is saying this stuff to them. But I'm like, do I want to say something to someone who, I don't know, like say this stuff? I don't know. Miss M says, every person with direct experience with Luke has spoken highly of him from what I've seen. Yeah. There's so many people who have met Luke, whether in passing or because they work with him, who have always said he's the kindest, sweetest person, that he's just shy and introverted and sensitive, all of those things. So it's like the way they're painting him to be kind of like this rebel of like not wanting to like work with his people, or I don't know how. I think I'm being too emotional because I am like, I don't think because my bias is so heavy right now, I'm not being as measured with my words because I'm irritated with how much, with how much negativity there is around Luke. And I think the man is just trying to live. Sharon says, fans love Luke. I've never heard anything about him that he's mean or a negative person. Me neither. And there's only this like place where you can be anonymous and say stuff. And because you have a PR background, and we're assuming that, we're assuming that because they're telling us that, but we don't know even if that part is true. But if we're assuming that's true, you know, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Marwood 33 says Shonda would not put up with diva attitude. Luke is not difficult. And Philip says it is still conjecture. It is uninformed. Kat said rage bait is in. Sam Bagita said, thank you, Sharon. I think PR posts are biased to Emily, his PR person, so that team is not at fault, so it must be client. Ronnie said also Nick is not disingenuous, and I believe that what she says about him. Nat said, just imagine being so judged by your profession. He's just a guy doing his job. Yeah, I just feel like there's been so much expectations of Luke. Like, you're not doing enough. There's constant messaging around Luke never doing enough. And it's like, this is more than the rest of the folks have ever done for Bridgerton. Like, nobody was ever asked to continue to talk about Bridgerton after the fact. Not to this level. And literally, it's just he's supposedly dating somebody. That's it. That's not a big deal in the long run. Personally, for me. Now, I'm trying to take myself down and be logical and whatnot, because what's the flip side if I try to remove my bias from this? What value is there? Any value I can take from what folks are saying through that Tumblr post? There probably is, but I can't think of any at this moment. I'm sure there is, because I think I'm just emotional because I feel like he's getting hit from everywhere, and I'm just not. I just feel like I just wish people would just let the man live, but Bree said yes, no other leads have had to keep doing promotions after the show aired. Yeah, it's just not been an expectation. Ronnie said the press tour was so long. Yeah, it took 6 months of his life. Yes, it's fun. Yes, he gets to travel. Yes, he got to spend time with Nicola. But it's still a job. And he wants other jobs. And he is, as much as people don't think he's pursuing things, I think he is going into auditions, and he is trying to get other, things. And when people are like, oh, he's not getting jobs right now, must be because he's so hard to work with and all these different things. And I was like, I just think it's a guy who's like, was excited to come back home after 6 months and just have kind of downtime. But he was still working. He was still trying to find some things to do. Jenny says, I just think because of him not talking, it's easier to attack him. Yeah, I guess so. And Ribbon says, guys, just because they haven't posted it on their stories, it means nothing. Chris Reese said, does anyone find it weird that the BTS wasn't shared by Luke and Nicola? Well, to me, Nicola is booked and busy. So not necessarily. But then I heard she also did like the post of the stills, not necessarily the behind the scenes. But maybe sometimes silence is golden, If there is, if the assumed girlfriend is someone that is important, hypothetically, to him, Maybe they're just trying not to stoke the fire by having both of them, you know, because that was actually a quite, that behind the scenes was a really like kind of amazing if you think about it. Because at first when they said that when Ryan said he was going to come out with the video, I was like, well, what else can you show? But it was because he did see her walk down the aisle for the very first time, but it just wasn't for the show. And I thought she was going to have him see her walk down the aisle for the first time, like for the show. But she walked down for the first time down the aisle, because it was an aisle. She walked down that aisle for him. It wasn't for the show. And so, which to me actually meant more, because I literally thought she wanted his first reaction so that he could use that first reaction for the show. And it turned out it wasn't for the show. It was for him and her. It was for him and her. The memories that they're making, that was for him and her. Because that was definitely not for the show. I literally thought they were doing it for the show. And they didn't. They did it for each other. And I think that is actually far cuter and sweeter than if it was for the show. And that's what I had in my mind. That's why I was like, when Ryan was saying, yeah, I'll show the first look or whatever, I was like, what's the first look? Didn't we see the behind the scenes already? We already saw that moment. No, we didn't, because it was for them. And his response of like, when he did that little squealing voice, yeah, the first look when he's like perfect or whatever, in that voice that he gets when he gets really excited and happy, when something happens that's unexpected to him, when he's surprised, like his voice goes up when he's surprised about something or he didn't expect something. His voice has this, it just goes up for some reason. Kind of like when she does her baby voice. It's kind of the equivalent of her baby voice when she's like, we did it. You know, that's his perfect one. And you literally saw his jaw drop. And Ryan was like, I wish I got the whole thing, but he did get the tail end of his jaw dropped, like looking at her. And the fact that he said perfect and jaw drop and like, you know, and she said he was getting weirdly emotional and he was getting teary. So when people are like, I think there was some tears in his eyes. Well, Lukola was upfront and personal, and she said he was getting teary. So I'm going to take it from her words that he got teary seeing her. And the fact is, she did want to do it for him. She wanted to see his reaction. Now I find that really curious, to be honest. Why would you want to? Katie in the Palm says that was a heavy video. It would have been hard to put a caption on it for them. You know? Yeah. I definitely think that the fact that she wanted his reaction, to see his reaction, and it wasn't for the show, it tells me that I don't think she thought it was really emotional. Because why else would you want to show him your dress for the very first time? And it's not for the show, but for each other. I think she knew he would get emotional seeing her. And I think she wanted to have him be emotional seeing her, personally. Because I wouldn't ask to say, hey, can we hold off in showing me in my dress so we could get his first reaction, and it turn up to not be the actual show. For the actual show, it's just for that behind the scenes. You know what I mean? It's a weird ask. If I thought it made sense when I thought it was for the show. Lippy Lindsay said exactly what I'm saying. His raw, loving reaction meant that much to her, to them. Yeah, I think I think she knew he was going to react that way, and I think she wanted him to react that way. She wanted him to be excited to see her walk down that aisle. She wanted to see him get teary. I just, because why else would you wait? Why else would you wait but not wait all up to the moment that you're going to actually do the show? Thank you, watching lady. So I just think it's very interesting. The choice. Sal says they were really invested in the wedding. It's adorable. Yeah. And just that moment that they stand before the cast and crew and they're applauding their wedding. And the nervousness, like Ryan Wheeler said, they were both nervous, right? And they were both, like, she was doing the little hand rub thing that she does, and he did the squeezing of the hand thing. But honestly, when he was standing in front of everybody, there was a moment where I was like, this man looks so happy, but also I would say proud. He looked proud to be standing there at that moment. And I didn't know what better word to really use, but to say that he looked proud to be standing next to her. And so, yeah, you know, I feel like there was such a blurring of lines because some of those moments were just them. Cinemagic Gal says she is his work wife. Of course, he'd be stoked to see her in the dress. Daya108 says, I also think she wanted him to become emotional. Marie Constantine says, yes, yeah, it was another memory just for them, a real reaction. If it was a proper take, it wouldn't be real. Yeah. Maybe they didn't want to waste a take. But Jenny said, feels like a real practice wedding. Yeah. Shelly said, I say the production suggested the first look. They have been doing these weird things for feelings. Anon 39 said, oh, this makes sense. I guess it wasn't for the show. What in the world? Yeah, it turned out not to be. That's why I was like, when it first came up in the conversation with Ryan Wheeler, I'm like, what have we not seen that we've already seen the behind the scenes of the first walk down in the aisle. So I was like, what else can we see? Because I literally thought that when she requested that, it was for the purpose of the show. I never at one point considered it was just going to be for the two of them. But the choice to do it the way they did it tells me it was for the two of them. Because there's no reason to wait if it wasn't going to be for the first take of the show. Maybe that's just my own thoughts. Maybe there is a validity behind waiting and still not doing it for the show, but I don't know what it is. Somebody will probably tell me because people are always thinking differently than me anyway. So, Jessica Lynn said, "Did you see the part where Johnny looks at Luke Thompson and Luke Thompson raises his eyebrows?" Yeah, it was cute, like brothers going, "Yeah." Mary said the blurred lines are blurring. Chris Reed said she wanted to see his real reaction as if it was their own wedding. Yeah, I mean, that's what it felt like for me. And when I found out it wasn't for the show, that's what it felt like to me. It's like, why else wait if it's not for the show? This is you wanting to see him. Well, I mean, obviously there could be other reasonings. I can't say obviously because maybe I'm thinking it's obvious, but maybe there are other reasons why you would choose to wait and it not be for the show. It's just I personally don't know what it is. Alicia said he was about to say something, then got shushed and immediately says, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even hear the shush at first until somebody brought it up. And, you know, when she said, I'm nervous, are you? And he said, yeah. And then he got and then he said, he looks at the camera and goes, yeah. And somebody said, oh, it makes me feel like he was acting for the camera. Like it was like maybe they were supposed to act for the camera. And I'm like, I think the acting for the camera was trying to play something off. Because the original, Minnie, he said, I don't think he was shushed. I thought they were shushing the people around. Oh, well, that's a valid potential. That actually makes more sense. than shushing him. But he heard it and he responded and looked at the camera and it was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people read that as if he was like being disingenuous. Well, I don't know people were reading it to be disingenuous, but I think what had ended up happening, for me at least, and I could be wrong about this, is when she first asked, are you nervous? Or she goes, I'm nervous, are you? Or something, I forget how she said it. And he's like, yeah. And his first yeah was like a regular yeah. The one that has a little bit more meaning and feeling of yeah. Like, I'm right there with you. I'm feeling the nerves, right? Versus the yeah is like a play off, like, I'm okay, I'm cool, you know, no biggie, yeah, you know? And so that's how I read it. Some other people read it differently and feel like, oh, see, he's faking it. He doesn't feel anything at all. So, and it was interesting. One of the people who were commenting on my video really felt the opposite. Felt like they said that every time they see a behind the scenes, they're more convinced that Lukola liked Luke and Luke can't stand her. And I was like, wow. I mean, so that when people have that perspective, I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're seeing that I'm not seeing. Because every time I see more behind the scenes, I feel the opposite. Lauren says, have we figured out if she said babe about the ring she had made? Well, everybody told me it's not babe. Not everybody. There are a few that think it's babe. There's a lot more that wishes it was babe, but they don't think it's babe. Most people say it's they. The word was they. And then they changed it. Like she changed it midway. Like, so she started to say they and then switched it out to like, I asked them. So, somebody said that now they hear Dave, which cracked me up. Laura Yawn said, do you think it's possible that they were together while this was filmed and have split since? You know, after we had the conversation about the timeline, it made me more open to the possibility that they did. I don't know though, but it made me go, well, if he truly had broken up with Jade prior to the official announced date of March 2023, if it's truly like in December or whatnot, then I think, that's hard too. I don't know if it's during filming that they would have explored it, because that would have been, even if they broke up in December, that's so soon to start even considering somebody new. Because if somebody started dating somebody that immediate, it makes me wonder if there were already things going on. So I don't know though. I don't know. There's a possibility, but I genuinely don't know. Betsy says, exactly, Phoebe, I perceived exactly the same thing you perceived. First one was extremely sincere, and then the other two were all cool for the camera. Yeah. Yes, thank you, watching lady. Cinemagic Gal said, I think she said they. That's what some folks feel as well. Pen Eloise _ Elliott said, I just feel both of them loved and liked each other. Yeah. GL Benner was like, no, she did not say babe. Thank you, Johari. Trish says, you know what's so weird? Why hasn't either of them reshared this in socials? They reshare everything. Well, I don't know if they reshare everything. Definitely, I think Lukola has had more tendency to do that. Thank you, Mendy. I don't know. I mean, to me, Lukola is booked and busy. And Luke doesn't actually consistently share things on social media. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Buddha's mom said, she said B with the EE. Yeah, I didn't even realize like that people, like aside from me asking about the babe, everybody picked up on the fact that I put the letter B rather than BEE. And everybody was like, it's the BEE. And I was like, I'm sorry, I thought she was talking about Bridgerton. I was not thinking it was the actual B for pollen, because then, excusez-moi, I did not know. But everybody there was like probably more comments around the B than about the babe, which is kind of funny to me. Yeah, everybody was like, so yeah, like Arisi says, it's not babe, it's they. Okay, so now, oh, okay. Now some people saying she said B, like Bridgerton. But then I think it might be a little bit of both. I don't know. Swanky said it's not babe. I wish though it's they. Yeah, overwhelmingly people are saying it's they. Can we have, I mean, I'm probably going to be in the minority here, so whatever. But did they say B? So if it was B for Bridgerton, it'll be red. If it was B, like a B for pollen, it'll be blue. So I'm going to do the poll right now. Is it red, the letter B for Bridgerton, or is it blue, B like as in pollen? Okay, see, that matches my comment section. People were like, it is the B. But how did people know? Did we see the ring? It wasn't a B, it was a literal B. Is that how people know? Because it's overwhelmingly the B, E-E. So I'm like, how do you know unless y'all saw the ring? We see the ring? Oh, okay, that's why. Cinemagic says it was an actual B. Plus size cutie, what are we voting on? If it's red, if the ring that she had was just the letter B for Bridgerton, or if it's blue, it's the B like for pollen. The poll is ending in 8 seconds though. Johari said, I feel like having a bee when Edmund died from a bee sting would be weird. Oh my word. That's a valid point. That's a very valid point. Christina said I hit the wrong one. LOL. No takes backsies. It is a bee, like insect, Ruben said. Pam said, yes, it is a bee. Thanks, Steph, is enough. Kristen said, it's still weird that the bee is their insect when that's how the dad died. Like, I hear you on that. Tanya C said, B is for Bridgerton, like butterfly is for Featherington. But it really is kind of weird. Their dad did die off of a bee sting. That's kind of more, I mean, like, not morbid, but like, that's kind of a little messed up. Oh, Minnie said there's a pic of the ring on X. Yeah, okay, well, then that helps. Devilishly Yellow said, I love the look Luke had after Nicola poked fun at him saying, isn't it? Isn't it? He was so pleased. I think also like her joking about that was a little bit of a way for her to like almost not feel fully like the emotions, to play it off a little bit, because it is really sweet, because he was like, he really was so sweet in that moment. And that's why I'm like, I understand people see things differently. And I don't know sometimes if people are saying, like, I don't see Luke liking or caring about Nicola and these behind the scenes. I don't know if that's because they genuinely can't see it, or because they don't let themselves see it because it hurts that they're not together. And it's kind of a coping mechanism not to get hurt again, and in believing that there's something that could potentially happen between them. Maybe sometimes it's like, it's a shielding protective mechanism of like, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to believe that they could be something and then be hurt again like I was before. Okay. Katie in the Palm says they have the bee in every episode. Jessica Lynn said the whole show is about bees. Kat said, but fans keep looking for a bee, LOL. And Sharon says Colin wears bees on his vest and waistcoat. M. Phillips says maybe they haven't reshared because Ryan Wheeler is being messy in the comments. Very valid. Very valid. Because, actually, M. Phillips, you always have some good nuggets, you know, whether in the comment section or here. Because I think you're right. Because if they like that post, people would freak out. because it is a confirmation that they agree with the things that Ryan Wheeler is putting in the comment section. They cannot like it, even if they like it. Now, oh wait, at the same time, can't take it back, because Ryan Wheeler is still being messy in the stills, and I heard that Lukola did like the stills. I haven't checked it myself to see, but I trust the source who told me. So why would she like the stills and not the video? Was he less messy in the stills comments than he was in the video comment? I don't know. I think it's equal. Okay, Megan's like, they wear bees on everything though. Okay, now I'm getting schooled and I appreciate it. Folks are like, what are you talking about? Bees are the thing. You should know this. Oh, Marie Bless 27. I think Lukola liked it. Oh, she did like it? The one that's not the stills, but the actual video? Okay, well then that's good. Jenny said, OMG, that is what I thought. They can't share or like that post. It'll mean they agree or confirm it. Because there's a lot. There's not just a little bit of comments from Ryan Wheeler. There's a lot of comments from Ryan Wheeler. Okay, so people are commenting about the black and white photos. Okay, Minnie said, would send the fandom into a frenzy, I fear. Yeah, people would freak out. Ronnie said, yeah, but liking is not the same as sharing. Yes. So wait, are you saying that it is okay to like it? It won't make everyone go into a tizzy when they like it. It's just if they shared it. Or maybe I'm missing something. Cinemagic Gal said, is he being messy in the stills? I feel like he still has a little bit of messy stuff in the stills. But like in the best way possible. But but Ribbon says, but the video is more messy. Stuff is enough. It worries me a bit that the social media interactions are getting too messy for them. Yeah, I hear that. Suzette said, but wouldn't they ask Ryan to tone it down with the comments? Maybe not. I don't know. Caitlin Marie said, anyone else see the theory about Nick's black and white pics? No. Yes and no. I feel like I did, but I don't remember it. So feel free to share it again. Pam said, I don't think they can share the video. LOL. There's a lot going on between them. LOL. Yeah. Ratchy said people can comment if they share. That's true. The flower with stars around says she hasn't liked other stuff. Please no talking of the third party as much as possible. I know I brought up the third, like those that are Luke adjacent, but Jessica Lynn says we have to remember we're overanalyzing everything too. They may have just not seen it. I would agree with you typically, Jessica. The only reason I pause around it, I mean, I believe it for probably Luke. But for Lukola, if she liked the stills and the video came out first, I mean, I guess sometimes if I see something first, it doesn't mean that I scroll back and see what's... So she may have seen the notification for the stills, or so she may have been online. When did the stills come out? Did the stills come out at the same time as the video, or did it come out later than the video? Like, what was the time frame difference? Because if she liked the stills but she didn't like the video, what was the difference in time of it being up there? M. Phillips says, how is Ryan going to look them in the eye on set when they go back? LOL. We know what you did, sir. I mean, he just encouraged people to stay on the ship. That's what he did. Laura Yon says, anyone know how Ryan Wheeler is involved? He's the behind-the-scenes person. Is that what you mean? He's the one who takes all the behind-the-scenes photos Footage. Pam said, but I don't think Ryan is the reason they are not sharing. What do you think is the reason, Pam? Ribbon said, well, on my feed stuff pops up differently. That's true. Same sees. Choice Ogba said she saw the video with a lot of laughing faces with tears coming out. Taryn Ray said stills came out after Ronnie a little later. Arisi said, I think they seen it, chose not to share and like because people would see it as a confirmation. Yeah. Okay, Miss M said Tom Verica shared it in his stories too, I think. Okay. Okay, Nasiha said, I checked. She didn't like it, nor does she follow him. He follows her, though. Luke follows her. Luke follows her or follows him? Brian Wheeler. Okay, so interesting that she does not follow him. Choice Ogba says she saw the video for sure. Heather D said stills were a couple hours later. So it's a few hours later that the stills came up. Okay. Okay. So it looks like 5 hours later, according to Stephanie, because stills 9 hours ago, video 14 hours ago. So that's a big difference in time. So if she has only a brief moment in time to look at things, and she's filming and all of this stuff, she might have only had a chance to look at, if she doesn't follow him, like maybe does she follow Tom Verica? Oh no, he's the one who shared the video, never mind. So how else would she have seen the stills if she doesn't follow him? How does she know to like them if she doesn't follow him? How does that work? I don't go on Instagram very often, so I don't know if they pull other people's stuff even though you don't follow them. Oh, Marie Bless 27 said they both follow Ryan Wheeler. Okay, how come somebody said that she didn't? Thank you for fact checking. Plus size cutie said, but everyone knows Ryan drops new content on Fridays about pollen. Oh, I forgot I'm behind again, so let me see. Okay, everybody's like correcting. No, she follows him. Okay, I was surprised at the news that she didn't. I was like, what? Oh, they're tagged on both things, Ronnie? On the stills and the video? Because if they were also tagged on the video, it's definitely intentional that they did not share it. Like, there's no way she didn't miss it. There's no way she did miss it. Ratchy said they don't always like Ryan's post because Ryan's telling some business. No. Okay, the Greenbird Brigade said Ryan tagged them in those posts, vids as well. Okay, yeah, they definitely saw it. He's being messy. He's being messy. They can't confirm that. And I think there's something. Yeah, but then he was messy in the stills too. So what makes it different? Because the stills, he did say some funky stuff in the stills for those ones too. Suzette says she probably liked the posts that pop up on her feed and she doesn't look back, maybe. Kim said maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe she'll get to liking the video later. That's a possibility as well. That's true. And Luke tends to look back at something and then redo it, re-like something that's a little bit older. Heather B said, I think Nick is waiting on Luke to chase the carriage. Queen C, Luke rarely likes any staff cast posts. Tanya sees Ryan is messy and I love it. He's the captain of the ship. I tell you, the amount of captains of the ship is like everybody has their own ship because so many people are like, they're the captain. It's like I think there's like 10,000 captains of the ship, it feels like. But there's definitely a lot of people on the ship, that's for sure. But yeah, he's being messy in the best way. Bree Young said, I think because it means so much, maybe protecting their hearts not to share it. Don't want the comments. I hear that. Sharon says, we love Ryan's messiness. He's keeping the ship afloat. He's a believer. Jen said, I'm assuming we want similar things, and I think it's good, especially that she is not sharing it. Cinemagic Gal said, aren't the stills just of Nicola? No. The final picture, at least I know for sure, is a black and white photo of Luke and her dancing, and him putting his hand on her cheek, I believe. CW2106 says, being tagged doesn't mean that they saw it. These two have been tagged how many times recently? That's also a good point. Annie said, didn't they already confirm that Luke had a big reaction at seeing her first in the dress? Confirmed it when? Possibly. Maybe they've talked about it. GS Mom said, we've not heard or seen hide nor hair of Luke. Hope he's doing okay. Somebody just took a picture of him yesterday morning at a coffee shop. And, you know, when I read the article in January, it makes so much sense now about, like, how he looked that day. Because he says, like, he prefers to just not have to, like, dress up and just can grow out his beard or something. I forgot how he described it when he gets home. That he doesn't have to worry about all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, so he definitely did. That probably was him just recently. Marie Bless 27 Dumois, sorry, posted a pic of Nicola in a pub with a friend, Jake Dunn, 3 hours ago. I am not a fan of, not Marie, sorry, Marie. I am not a fan of Dumois because of what Nicola had shared. So then there's my bias, because she says that they run false stories all the time. So whenever it's like this comes out, I'm like, how recent was the pub picture? Like, are they presenting that it's something recent? How do we know it's something recent? Minnie said they stole that pic anyway, LOL. Oh, did they, Minnie? How do you know? Marie said maybe she liked the pics only because there was something deeper to her in the silence. Whoa, I realize I'm just way behind now again. Sometimes I forget to look down, and next thing I know, it's like 99 plus new messages, so I apologize. Rachi said the only thing I've seen Luke like on Instagram recently is Nick's post about her last day of filming. Oh, Minnie said someone posted it to their ex timeline first. Did they give any background as to if it was actually recent? Okay, GS Mom, heard that's an old picture. Okay. Trish said, I really hope someone can find a shot of Luke seeing her in the dress from Nicholas' POV. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like there was at least one shot where you could see him smiling really big, but I just needed to see it in context, because I was like, how do I know that that was Nicola that caused him to smile that big? But the person who shared it with me said there's a longer version, so I think I just need to see the longer version for myself. Some girl's brother was in a pub, started there, but no time frame listed that they know definitively it happened recently, because she is friends with Jake. I'm fairly sure Jake is dating somebody right now, and not her, as some rumors say. Minnie said, oh, the pics was legit yesterday. The girls posted other pics from her day. Got it. Kim said, I saw somewhere that Luke said perfect before Nick said hi to him. Did someone hear it in the vid? Yes, I did. I heard it in the vid. Minnie, no ma'am, just said it was from today. Oh, okay, from today. But I heard the perfect. I can't do it the way he did it. It was the high pitched, excited voice that he does. Ribbon said, yeah, she said it. My brother is at the bar with Lukola or something like that. Oh, okay, got it. Jessica Lynn, yeah, he likes to blend in. Bree Young said, yes, comfy. The Luke we love. I'm guessing it's love. I don't know necessarily. I'm bad at emojis. Okay, gotta go back to the bottom. TLR Vibe says, I'm just happy she's out and trying to have some fun. L.Mo82, Jake's outfit with his hat is the same at the bar as his story from today. Okay. Tracy says he's young though. I thought like 25. Yes, he's not dating her. He is not dating her. And y'all know where I stand about how I feel about that. But if she was, but that's just me. Reese said it was today. Jake was wearing the same clothes he posted his stories earlier. GS Mom says, I have a screenshot of Luke's reaction from the video. Diana said, I forgot it was recording. I can't do his... Well, I don't even know why I tried to say that way. That was kind of embarrassing. I was not anywhere close to what he sounded like. People are asking who Jake is. Jake Dunn is his name. I love people on Demois comments are like, love seeing Nick with her good friend Jake. Do they work together? I don't know if... Somebody probably knows better than I do. I think they are just friends. I don't remember how they met. But I, at the same time, the same situation, I might have to just say to folks like, you know, the same way that I was like, I don't want Luke adjacent stuff. I'm really, if this becomes a thing, I might say I don't want, well, I've already said I don't want Nick adjacent stuff either. Because it just takes over and it loses sight. Diana said that was so cute, Phoebes. I'm glad you thought so, because I was like, that was a horrible attempt at an accent I was trying to do. Arisi says Jake is just her friend. Yes, he is just a friend. Oh, great. Every time like TikTok asks me, are you really still on live? Yes, I am. They said, we have detected inactivity. I don't know why. Many said Luke's eyes were so telling in that video, between the tears and the dilated pupils. My heart. Oh, that's sweet. Cindy said, pretty sure Luke was at a bar yesterday. Bree Young said, X is saying rumored are the Polaroid pic is still on the phone. She still has not found a pocket, apparently. Dark to Happiness says, who isn't Nick friends with? That's true. It's a friendly person. Yeah, Cinemagic Gal said Nick and Jake are in the same friend group. HB Pencil said Jake Dunn is an actor. He was in Renegade Nell. FMMAFFEI 13 said from her friend Louisa from Dairy Girls. Okay. So people are saying that's how they met, through Louisa. Stephanie's like, her phone is on the table. I need to know if the pic is still there. LOL. So apparently some folks are saying it is. AM.99 plus sharing Guinness with a friend. Did Demois say that line that she was sharing Guinness with a friend? or people just noticed he was drinking Guinness. Because Lordy, whenever I think Guinness, I think Luke. Cinemagic Gal said, can't even see the phone in the pic, LOL. Annie said, until Nick is confirmed with photo kissing someone, she's not with anyone to me, LOL. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, I do feel like if it ever, like, takes over... Well, I mean, the difference... Here's the thing. Here's my rule of thumb. Here's my rule of thumb about the adjacents. When somebody says that somebody is actually just genuinely important into their life, like they have verbalized that someone is important, has shown to some degree that someone's really important, then I feel like, okay, maybe we can talk about them. But when someone is literally just adjacent, like they are there, I just don't, I prefer it not to take over. So like if I, like the Jake Dunn thing, like he is a friend and let's leave it, I mean, at that, because then it takes over too much, the conversation. And then I feel like it does become a double standard. Like, oh, you're willing to talk about this part, but you're not willing to talk about Luke adjacent folks. Though, I mean, at the same time, why did I stop trying to have that conversation? It's just because I felt like it was toxic. So I suppose if it's not being toxic, it might be okay, but I don't know. Okay, people are talking about the Guinness. So yeah, she was drinking. I mean, she likes her Guinness, I guess, too. Oh, ooh, Caitlin Marie brings up the Demois being messy, sharing that spotted today after all the great behind the scenes. So, interesting you say that. Interesting you say that, because it makes me think of something that, it makes me wonder then, if Demois is doing that on purpose for a reason. I mean, some people have always felt like they have it out for Lukola for speaking out against their misinformation. Nicoletta said, I think best move for Luke right now would be showing up to Wimbledon with Nick and other cast members. Other cast members have already gone, so Nick is his best bet, but I just don't know. I don't know if it might be messier to show up with Lukola, to be honest. I mean, especially if it's just one sighting together and then things go back to normal. Like, and it's not, they don't see him with Lukola again for a while until it starts filming, then people will feel like they got their hopes up and then it gets dashed again. I don't think people emotionally want that roller coaster. I'm gonna stop reading any stuff out loud that has to do with Lukola and assumptions about anyone that's adjacent to her. TLR vibes. It's interesting. Tons of positive comments on the IG post from Demois. Fans are supporting her. I mean, supporting her in what way? Like supporting her drinking Guinness with a friend? In what ways are they supporting her? Glaza Gabalio 908 said, true, I'd rather see Lukola alone going to Wimbledon. Kim said, good thing that the commentators or commenters at Des Moines mostly know the guy as Nick's very good friend. Yeah, because I'm like, please, like... Coop 1717 is my guess is Nick isn't going to be there this weekend. I would love to see her. Marie said if they turn up individually, Luke will definitely be wearing sunglasses so he can watch Nicola secretly. Jen said yes to Nicola going with Andrew Garfield. Cinemagic Gal said, doesn't Luke have a friend's wedding this weekend? I have no idea. Tanya C said no one is thinking they're together on that post. Love it. I'm glad that people are squashing that conversation before it even starts. Well, it started before, but I'm re-squashing it. Suzette said that they aren't falling for DM, trying to start rumors that she's dating him. Yeah. Diana said, I just want to see her pop out at Wimble looking fire. I would love to see what outfit she would choose. Or her stylist. HB Pencil said, anyone joining the Pollen rewatch starting this Sunday? Who's doing it? Who's doing the rewatch? HB Pencil. Is there a communal watching? Betsy A said, I would love for Nick to take her mom or sister again, or maybe her brother. Keep it in the fam. Star said, if she is working, Wimbledon might not be a priority. Plus size cutie said, Luke should take me. TLR Vibes says, I just want a Wimbledon fashion moment from Nick. Sarah Harris 973 said, how do y'all know his weekend plans? Yeah, I don't know how people knew that. Like, that's some heavy sleuthing that I'm not willing to do. Because how did you know he's having a friend's... Actually, I don't want to know. Actually, don't answer that question. Because if the answer is because some adjacent person said something or did something or gave that impression, I don't want to hear about it. Because they're telling too much of their friend's business. Jessica Lynn said, is it called a rewatch if you haven't stopped watching? Ronnie, fashion moment would be great. Daniela said, I want to do a rewatch, but in Google Meet or something to share emotions. Yeah, I got to check in with May because I know May had originally said that we were going to try to do a rewatch, so I don't know. Kirsten said, I love finding new things all the time as I rewatch. Sydney said, Nick needs her Princess Di revenge dress. Thanks, Kim. Tanya C said, I be watching every day. Thanks, Karen. Oh, Annie said, Luke and Nick turn up separately but matching. Make it happen, stylists. The stylists are in on it. Oh, my word. That is genius. And I really think their stylist would totally do it. Their stylist would totally get on the phone and say, like, make it happen. My phone is so hot right now, y'all. But I need to, like, charge it. But I feel like if I charge it, it will overheat. This live will go until 8. So that's, like, for those that don't have the same time as me, that's 51 minutes from now. Lauren said it's Pollen Week Part 2. People are watching 1 episode a day. Oh, okay, gotcha. Betsy A, Princess Di moment. Sigh, can you imagine? M. Phillips said, not separately, but matching. That would be way too much. Wait, what would be too much? The matching? Because I would love it. I might be reading your message wrong, but I would love them to come matching because their stylists like make it happen. They always do. Tanya C, it would be cute if they matched. Steph is enough said I'm down for separate but matching. Kirsten said I definitely think the stylists are in on it. I think so too. Plus size cutie said I swear I love these lives. Oh yay. Sharon said yes they would. I love their stylists. L.Mo82 said yes to them matching and they have no clue. Oh my word, it would be amazing. Actually, I would really, really love it if that happened. I hope they make it happen. Make it happen. Make it happen, stylists. Betsy A said their stylists would definitely do it if only to prank them. And Phillips, stylists are basically parent trapping. So true. Kim said, oh my God, that would be amazing. Their stylists be scheming. Diana said that would so make them giggle and start some convo. Tammy's like, I love your lives. Oh, yay. I'm happy that y'all love the lives as much as I do because I love being in spaces with y'all because y'all crack me up. Oh, Jenny says something with yellow. Glaza Gabalio 908 said, when will be the Wimbledon? I keep hearing it's this weekend. I mean, it's been going on for a bit, I think, but I think the biggest things are this weekend. Sunday being the biggest day where I guess the celebrities come out the most because the royals come out during that day. At least that is what I've been told. Nicoletta said, but even if they went separately, wouldn't it be weird not interacting at all? Yes, it would be weird. Then people would think something was definitely up if they couldn't even interact at all. If it was awkward, yeah, people would talk if they could not interact at all. It'd be weird because that's not like them at all. So, but at the same time, they don't want to be scrutinized. They don't want everybody to nitpick or look at what they're doing and read more into it than they want them to read into it. Sydney said they are going to have a rom-com moment sitting on opposite sides of the court just watching each other. Diana said, I do the whole season in one day. Star says, stylist talking all the time. Speaking as a stylist here, Star says. Steph is enough says, where do the Wimbledon pictures get posted? I'm sure it'll get posted all over Twitter. Well, probably Twitter, but also like here in TikTok. I'm sure somebody will share it. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon said, oh, but historically they do coordinate because of their stylists who do a lot of the, I'm telling you, they're on the ship. Daniel Lynn 93 said Luke himself has admitted to texting her to see what she's wearing to an event. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know if they text each other like right now about it, but, you know, we'll see. Charlie said, has it been confirmed they are going? No, it hasn't been confirmed. I don't think so. I think it's just they think that they're coming, but they could possibly not. Steph is enough. If they don't interact at the same event, it would be bad news. Not necessarily. It might just be, it's so hard. It's a lose-lose situation, right? It's like, if they interact, it's going to be picked apart. If they don't interact, it's going to be picked apart. So I guess they have to pick their poison. Ribbon said, I need the universe to hurry this process along, the getting along and realization, because I'm tired. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. Very slow. Nicoletta said, I don't get why it would be inappropriate if they are just friends. Doesn't make sense at all. What would be inappropriate? Them talking? I don't think, I mean, did somebody said it would be inappropriate? Thank you, Lynette. Did I say it was inappropriate? Did I say something subconsciously that I didn't mean to? Because I definitely don't think it's inappropriate for them to talk. So maybe you're talking to someone else. I'm not sure. Sometimes I have to scroll past messages so I don't get to see everything. Anna says there's a probability that Luke will attend on Saturday and Nick will attend on Sunday. Minnie said, I hope they don't get to the point where they don't interact in public. That would break my heart. Yeah, me too. I hope they're not awkward. I don't think they would be. I'm like, just please no Corey and India situation. I just don't like that. Because that was really like super awkward. You're like, yeah. Diana said, no, they definitely miss each other. I can't imagine it being awkward. They probably have to catch up. So hard when the world is looking at you, you know? Even if you're trying to be chill. Choice Ogba said if they go to Wimbledon, the whole world would shake. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like all these eyes are looking. It feels probably more vulnerable than even doing their intimate scenes to some degree. Kristen said, Nick and Luke seem to think the matching is coincidental. No, guys, no. Nicole said, I remember someone said their stylists were dating. Really? Interesting if that's the case. Jen said, Luke told Simone always when asked if they were matching. Megan says, everyone's on a ship. Their stylists, cast, and crew. It's true. And someone said Google, right? Stephanie said, if I was going to be on the same place as my best friend, I would meet up with them. Weird not to. Yeah, no, I don't think that they, I mean, it would be weird if they don't interact. It really would be weird if they didn't interact. So I do expect them to interact if they happen to be there at the same time. TLR Vibe says if they go together, nobody would be watching the tennis. Marie said it'd be nice if they asked Luke about his fashion. He says shoes, caviar, private yachts. I don't know. Sydney says they are going to slow-mo run into each other's arms, or one can hope. Choice Ogba said if it's too much, they should go on different days. Okay, Jen said VIP suites or area where social interactions take place in Wimbledon. So maybe their interactions will just not be in the, like through that, like can be seen by people. Like their main interaction will be private. Sharon said Simone pointed out that his suit at the London premiere had embroidery that matched Nick's gloves. Diana said, we just want to see our parents together again. Plus size cutie said, do you think Nicola will drop a music video soon? I thought I heard from somebody that she was going to put out a music video. Maybe I was wrong. Sanibel said, 5 year besties, I hope they will still interact in public. I think they will. I think it's just kind of that moment of like, is it too much with all the prying eyes? Daniela said, but is it confirmed they're going to be there? Nope, not confirmed. It's just a possibility. Jess says, hello from Paris. I'm a little tipsy. Sorry. GS Mom says, their stylists work together behind the scenes. Definitely. Rosie, their end game just got to be patient. I do believe their end game. Charlie said, I think it would be in Luke's best interest to go and attach himself to her. Choice Ogba, we can only hope. Kimmy said they still have work together and they are besties. Yeah. Sharon, she joked. Where did it go? She joked they needed to rent a private yacht for the Shoes, More Shoes music video. Oh, and Charlie said the reason why she thinks that it would be good is because he's been dragged on the internet, which I've been very sad to see, honestly. Okay. Kirsten said, I hope they hard launch by posting a black and white pic of them kissing on their IG pages, and that's it. Lauren says, I'm hoping for posts from Nick this week for Pollen Week Part 2. YC said, Luke can't win on the internet, and I hate that. I do hate that too. Sarah Harris 973 says he doesn't deserve any backlash. Like, the man is just really trying to live. Like, sometimes I feel like people are just mad that he's not living up to what they want him to be, and that's not enough to like hate on a person just because he doesn't meet our expectations. A clean house with muddy boots. I just want to see them at Wimbledon together, even if it's just for one photo. Star said best for both of them to go with family or another Bridgie cast member. Tanya C said Luke deserves our love as much as Nick does. I love them both. Yeah. Laura says poor Lukey Newts. Diana said I feel like this is one of the few behind the scene posts Nick actually didn't repost. I mean, and there's probably good reason for that. We'll find out. Or maybe it's later on that she'll do it. Who knows? We'll find out. Stephanie said he is a human being and doesn't deserve what he's getting because he's not dating the person we want. Yeah, that's, I mean, to me, it's like, that's not enough. Like, I mean, and I feel like that's really, like, even the whole PR thing that we were talking about, it all comes down to the fact that they disagree with the person. Like, I understand that the person is hurting his brand or hurting his career and hurting a lot of things, but it's still his choice, and it's still just supposedly dating somebody, so it's not enough. I don't think it's enough. I don't personally think it should be enough to backlash him as much as it has. I mean, I understand it could have gone better, but it's like at some point we got to be willing to. Well, I mean, I guess if people don't want to, they won't. But I was going to say, like, forgive and move on. I mean, and it's even weird for me to say forgive because there's technically nothing to forgive him for. That's assuming that he did. I mean, he just made a decision that I would say was unadvisable. But it's not, like, unforgivable. Wendy says, I think it's also how he doesn't promote the show as much as Nick does. I mean, and what I've said to folks is he 6 months of his life he took out to promote. Nick may choose to do stuff, but like simply no other lead has been demanded to do more after his time was up. Because really, technically, like, Nicola's working on another job. Like, ideally, I guess this would not be an issue if Luke had a job right now that he was working on too. That people wouldn't be, like, going, well, you have time, you could be doing this or that. But really, he's not obligated to do more than he was obligated to do. And I think that might be a tough thing for people because they want... Sometimes people because people love the product, love Bridgerton. I think some people are like, oh, so you're ungrateful, you don't like it, you don't care about it, you're trying to distance yourself. And I'm like, I don't know if any of those things are necessarily happening more than he gave 6 months of his life and is tired. Thanks, Caroline. I mean, he is more of an introvert. You know, he might need more time to refresh. Minnie said, right, he's done his job. I work when I'm not getting paid. I'm not working. Yeah. And I think sometimes like this idea of like you must not love the thing if you're not willing to work 24/7 at it or whatever. And the reality is like that's not true. Like I love my job, but when I clock out, I clock out, you know? And people are like always like that's different because it's not like being like your career being a movie star. I get it, but they still have to have downtime. Amy said Nick is just the type to show her pride and respect for all of her jobs. That is her thing. And also she's just like social media savvy. She's always been social media savvy. So sometimes I think the biggest thing is people expect him to be social media savvy. But the man has communicated in every which way that he's not a person that's always online. He's not chronically online. He's not like Nick in that sense. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have lurker accounts. It doesn't mean he doesn't look at stuff. I'm just saying that he's not as well versed in it. And yet, like, there's so many, I mean, if Benedict and Eloise are going to be co-leads in some ways next season, they don't have social media presence. So are people going to nag them and being like, why are you not doing enough promotions? Are they going to be like, you should get on social media to promote it, and you should promote it even after your 6 months or however long they're going to be required to go around the world and promote it? I don't know. Nina said, I think it's more about the pics being dropped on release day, and even Netflix isn't posting Luke. And I don't know about the Netflix stuff because I don't follow their account to know what they're putting out. But I do feel like Netflix put up a video of him and Lukola walking to each other in a photo or something like that. Charlie said, I think it just feels like a lack of appreciation for Bridgerton and Lukola. I mean that's fair that it can feel like that. I mean that's a valid feeling, because if people have different expectations of what appreciation looks like, if people don't meet that expectation, it's gonna feel like a lack of appreciation. So I mean it's a valid feeling depending on what people's expectations are. So for example, for me, my expectations for him is different. So I don't feel like there's a lack of appreciation. However, I know that if someone else has a higher expectation or different expectations of him, that's the thing that he's going to be judged against. And if he's not hitting that for them, it's going to feel like a lack of appreciation. So it's a very valid statement based off of whatever criteria people are using. Say Rugbaru 13 said, I just went back and looked at some of their posts from the tour and looked unlike them. I have nothing to say about that because I don't know. I think that's a lot of work for Luke to remember to unlike something. So I don't know if someone did it for him, but I just don't. I mean, again, my bias is showing, but part of me is like, why would somebody waste their time unliking something? Because they know that people are going to be going all the way back to the past to check if things are liked still. That, I mean, see, I think that's a lot. That's a lot. And I just want to name something, y'all. I want to name something for myself. I don't know if I'm just like super tired because I'm like, should I get food? I feel like I stink because it's been sweaty and like I need to buy like shampoo because I forgot to bring any shampoo and conditioner. Like I have all these things and I'm like, do I feel like I'm like more curt today? I feel like I'm more curt today. And so I apologize for that because usually I think I have more leeway for like, I just hope my responses haven't been too flippant because I kind of feel like my responses have been more like flippant. I don't know. So I don't want to be coming off that way. So I'm like, am I being flippant right now? it's my, all of us have a right to our own opinion. And I'm like, usually I think I couch and make sure that people understand and know that I respect their differences of opinion. But I've kind of been like mowing through all things and just saying how I feel about some things. I'm like, am I being flippant to folks? Okay, Cass says, Phoebe, you're not. Okay, just checking. Because I'm like, Sue said, no, you seem tired and down to me. I mean, I'm definitely tired. I've been practicing for my bocce tournament. And as for down, am I down? I have to think about if I'm down. I don't know if I'm down more than I'm like, I feel like I'm being impatient, The Green Bird Brigade says, you are more honest and I like it. You're being very rational. I think I'm saying just what I feel, really. And I think I'm still being kind about it, but I think that sometimes even though I feel like conflicting opinions can coexist in a space, sometimes I feel like in our world, people don't know that it can. And so the minute you express your own opinion, people feel like their own thought is being diminished if like a counterpoint is given. So sometimes I'm like, oh, did I not honor the person's thought enough in that moment so that they knew that even though I disagreed with their thought or I had an opinion not above it, but like in addition to it, that it wasn't like to nullify their thoughts. It was just to say like what I thought. YC said, I feel the same way when I'm going to start my period next week. Well, I feel you on that because I think I'm in the tail end of everything too myself. Bree Young said, I think you're just human and being you. Thank you, Bree. Christina Hale, at this point, I just need them to have a press conference so I can get the deets and move on. Amanda says, I think Luke is going through something right now and all the bad PR isn't helping him. Annie said, Luke is 31. I think unliking posts if a coworker is kind of high school behavior. That's why I have a hard time believing. Well, at the same time, if people are really monitoring, I shouldn't have a hard time believing because there are people who truly monitor people's likes. So if they really knew that he liked certain things before and is now unliked, obviously he would have had to do it. But to me, it's like, how much time does he have on his hands to be doing that? Like, I mean, unless it's his PR team that went and did it, but that's kind of silly to me. It just doesn't make sense. Unless someone has access to his account that would do something that childish, I just don't understand how that would be a thing. But then at the same time, like the fact that people notice it, it's also baffling because I have so many like posts, like just going back to try to like look at old posts feels like labor to me. It's like there's so much to look at. So to constantly be looking backwards, it's like that's like work. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of work. Betsy A says his PR team would do it or someone that has access to the account. Because Ronnie said, forget Luke unliking. I want to have that kind of time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how much time does a person have to literally go back and unlike things? Like, that's just so much work. Jen said, it doesn't make sense. Everyone says how kind he is. That seems very intentional. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense in my brain. Because, for me, when I private stuff, even in TikTok, I don't even have that many videos. And when I have to search and go, okay, like which ones do I need to private because they're just not getting, like because one of the reasons I private, like there's many reasons I private videos that are more legitimate than the one I'm telling you right now. But one of the things that I do is go back for anything that's after 7 days. If certain videos don't equal the amount of current followers I have, I private it because I'm like, it's not hitting the folks. So I'm just gonna private those. I'm just gonna choose to keep the ones that has reached people, because having a lot of videos is actually kind of like, it just feels belaboring to me. But even the act of me just going back to June was a lot. So let alone having sometimes having the time to look at all those posts, I would be like, that's a lot. Yeah, Diana said, I think him doing that causes more problems than the likes just being there. Yeah, because if he knows that there's people monitoring whether he likes something or not, why would you unlike it when you know that they would see that? So I guess a part of me is like so confused at that kind of thinking. Like, one, who has the time? And two, just doesn't make sense. Annie said that is too much social media time for someone who proclaims isn't on social media like that. Yeah, that's why I have a hard time believing it. I think I do need receipts. The person who said that, do you have receipts? Please email me at boccegohawks@gmail.com with proof that he ever liked these posts. Because it's like when people used to say, oh, that one fashion designer account unfollowed him. I'm like, they never followed him before. Like, or this account unfollowed him. I'm like, they never followed him in the first place because they literally only follow 3 people and that he was never one of them. So it's like kind of like that, where people are like, oh, are they still following each other? And they never actually followed it. Or people think that somebody had liked something before and in reality they never liked it. So I'm like, I need proof. I need a before and after photo. Like, how do people know that he unliked these posts? So I don't know if the person who said that is still in the space, but if you could show me your receipts, that would be great. Because I just feel like it makes no rational sense for anyone to do it. It takes too much time. I don't know if people think that unliking messages is very quick. It is if it's like you only have a few, but if you're talking about like Nicola's post or something, I don't know if it's Nicola's post that this person is talking about. She has a lot. It takes work, a lot of work. Natalie says sometimes Instagram glitches. I swear I've had likes disappear before I didn't do it. Yeah. Jessica Lynn said pics or it didn't happen. That's the rule. Yeah. And pics that, can pass the AI test as well. That it is not AI. Chael said, yes, bring some proof because I'm sure this is just an excuse to hate on Luke. I mean, hopefully it's not. Hopefully this person does have receipts because it really is very confusing to me to have that be something a person's doing. Just because it just takes too much work. It is not as simple as just, I'm going to unlike. Like literally you have to scroll. And then sometimes if you do something wrong, it refreshes and you have to start all over again. It's just like such an annoying thing. Oh no, am I freezing? Somebody says I'm freezing. Am I freezing? Nina said, I don't have receipts, but it was done. How did you know it was done, Nina? Like, who told you? Like, did you, like, or did you saying you saw it yourself? You saw it yourself, but you just didn't take a picture. And that's why you know for sure it was done, but you just, you saw it, but you didn't take pictures. I mean, obviously, like, people tend to just believe people. So I understand, like, that people might not have felt the need to take a photo of before and after photo. Because sometimes you don't even know you don't know what's going to be important and what's not going to be important later on, because, you know, if you saw a like before, it's not like you're assuming somebody's going to unlike something. Blossom says, I can't wait for Luke to work on other projects. I'm excited to see him in different roles. Me too. And I feel like it would change the conversation around Luke. I think part of the reason so much of this kind of conversations happening around Luke is because he's not currently working on a role. So they have nothing new to talk about. So there's nothing new to talk about, you know, with Luke. Devilishly Yellow said, I just checked. He doesn't like a few Brazil posts. Maybe he was too busy when she posted them. Kim said, this is why I don't dig. I just consume what is being given. That's it. Yeah. I feel like there were certain posts that Luke didn't like that he just skipped, honestly. Oh, not that he didn't like he actually didn't like it, but he just didn't physically like it on Instagram. I mean, he really genuinely does not like everything that Lukola puts up. He goes through spurts where he likes a bunch and then he skips a few and then he likes a bunch. That's why I was like, how do people know? I mean, it makes sense if like he likes everything that Lukola does, but he doesn't. So how do they know which ones? Like if nobody took a picture, I guess some people have photographic memory, so they might remember it that way. But 20 more minutes before I have to head off. ARE says, I don't even like my brother's posts. FX my ex said, well, we saw it. Okay, Ronnie said, Phoebe, let's move on. Okay, let's move on. I guess I'm flabbergasted at it. It just seems so weird. Minnie's like, thank you. Okay, you tell me what y'all want to talk about in the last 18 minutes. Stephanie said, I looked at Bridgerton Netflix. He still likes a lot until release date and then not as many after. Marie said, Luke watching Nick getting her makeup touched up. Yeah. Luke in a musical, Ronnie, yes. Thanks, Disney. Minnie said, you know, we were doing well talking about the behind the scenes. Let's go back to happy. Yeah, Kim said, I would love a Zoom call with y'all, LOL. Laura said, Luke T and Claudia versus Lukola and Luke in a tennis match. Who is winning? Ooh. Luke T. And I don't even know how athletic any of them are to know that. Ooh, but let's do a poll. I mean, I don't know how we're basing off our answer, but red would be Luke T and Claudia winning the tennis match, and blue would be Lukola and Luke in winning a tennis match. So let's do that poll. Who would win the tennis match? Luke T and Claudia or Lukola and Luke? Ooh, this is pretty even. Even though Luke T and Claudia are winning by a smidge. What are people choosing? I mean, now it's like Luke T and Claudia are beating Lukola and Luke fairly well. I wonder how we're deciding this, because honestly, I've never seen any of them and their athletic skills. How much longer is this poll going? 10 seconds left. Get your votes in before it closes in 5 seconds. Okay, it seems like it's going to be Claudia. Yeah. Luke T and Claudia, they believe, will win the tennis match. Amy, how's the motel? I mean, it's a lot like it's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. And plus the doors are inside, which I like. Cause I don't know why I thought motel doors would be outside. But anyways. Minnie said if it's based on love, Lukola, of course, LOL. Athleticism? What's Lucadia? Flower with Star says, I cannot wait to see Nicola's fairy costume. Jessica Lynn says, yes, we need singing Luke in our lives. Yes, Luke is such a great singer. I would love him to pursue stuff with music again to some degree. His voice is beautiful. Betsy A said, do we think Luke would like to be on Broadway? I think he would love it. I think he'd want it. Ooh, Lucky Ducky Ooh said, I think we're about to go through a food shortage in a restaurant. Yeah. Princess or Libby, yes, I am. I am there right now. Jessica Lynn said, him singing Yellow is still my favorite thing. The Dragonfly MI said, did y'all see the BTS for season 1 today and the Panini comment? I've seen the Panini comment. I'm not sure about the behind the scenes for season 1 today. Did you mean season 1 or season 3? Laura said, I think Luke T and Claudia would be laughing too hard. HB Pencil said, what is bocce, a sport? Yep, I have a bocce tournament this weekend. And bocce is an Italian sport. And so the whole purpose of it is to get your bocce balls closest to the Polino or Polina, which is like a little mini ball. You toss out past half court and you have to get the closest. Most of your balls closest. Oh, I just realized I'm way behind. Again, I forget sometimes to look down and it's like 99 plus new messages each time. Diana said they played a game of Pall Mall during an interview and they didn't do so well. Oh, okay, which one? Was it, when you said they, which one is they? Lauren said Luke and Nick would be having a dance in the corner. Diana said, nervous they both to film the wedding scene and how they felt like it was a real wedding. Alicia said, have you watched Big Mood yet, Bocce? No, I have not watched anything. Ever since I started this account, all I've done is been on TikTok, to be honest, and now the YouTube channel, which I won't be updating until I get back. I've downloaded a bunch of videos that I need to upload. And the funny thing is, I really do need to find a way to edit them from the beginning, because when I'm sitting here waiting for y'all to join, I forget that I'm waiting for y'all to join and it's already recording. So I'm like doing stuff like, I don't know. And so I'm like, I need to edit that stuff out because I'm like blowing my nose or something because I was sick in some of those episodes. So I'm like, yeah, this is not good. I'm not gonna have the first thing that y'all see on the video be like me blowing my nose. Amy said, let's be honest, Luke would get distracted by Nicola swinging that racket. Pam said, I would love to see him on Broadway. Oh, Stephanie said he better sing to the baby. Yeah, I would love that. Just Lee 678 said, I love his rewrite the Stars cover. Megan said we need him singing to Baby Pollen. Tanya C, Luke's voice is a dream. Blossom said he said in one interview he was done singing. He did, and yet at the same time, with Nicola, he said, well, maybe. He left the door a little bit open. Daniela said, Nicola as Spice Girl in Dairy Girls is how I imagine her as a fairy. TK said, I wish they would have gotten the other angle on camera of Luke. I think someone else did, because I did see at least one scene where it was from Nicola's perspective. So it wasn't Ryan's footage, but it was definitely someone else's footage. So I don't know whose footage it was, but someone has it. The Green Bird Brigade, him singing Shallow, amazing. Oh, did I see that one? Maybe I did. And did I see that one? Was that one of the karaoke things or one of the new videos that just came out that are older? Oh, Minnie said, oh, Luke is working on the animated movie. That comes out next year. He's singing in it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, he's really such a great singer. It's such a talent that he has. Sue said, Big Mood is so good, but can be triggering. Oh, I haven't heard that before. Mary said, when the drought really begins, we can talk my 49ers and your Seahawks, Phoebe. LOL. That would be, I mean, I don't know how many folks are football fans here, but honestly, I used to have a podcast called, well, I did two. One was Battle of the Fans, which was a lot of fun. And then I did one called Bragging Rights with my co-host, Joseph Muldoon. And that was talking all about football. Steph is enough said, yeah, all Nicola had to do was say please, and he agreed. This is true. Kristen said him singing Shallow is on TikTok. Okay. Then I feel like I may have seen it, but I didn't get a chance to fully watch it. Maybe that's what it was. Alicia said he almost said something about singing to the baby in the next season, but stopped due to spoilers. Daniela said there's a threat in X with all this. Threat. I think you meant thread, because I was like, there's a threat? But I think you meant thread in X with all the signing content from Luke. I almost believed threat for a second because I've been hearing rumblings around like people being mean to Luke in X. And I'm like, oh, why is that happening? Ronnie said I need to go back and look at his IMDb. Ooh, Lucky Ducky Ooh said he recorded for that last fall. Brittany said Big Mood is amazing. Susanna, when you said what threat, I think she meant thread. Thread was the actual thing. Karen said, does anyone know that Nick reads or voices over 12 different books? I didn't know. Ellie Chada said, yes, only other fandom I'm in. Go Niners. It hurts me as a Seahawk fan, but at the same time, like, I love the rivalry with the 49ers when it was like during the time that Harbaugh was there. You know, it was fun times. Iriana said, wait, is your name Phoebe? Yes, it is. I mean, people know only because I forget and I say my own name. Because sometimes I think to myself and I say my name as I'm thinking to myself, you know. So yes, it is Phoebe. And I used to be, when people didn't know what I was saying, because sometimes people thought I was saying Stevie, I would be like, no, like Phoebe from Friends. But then it became like Phoebe, like I had to say Phoebe from like Recess or something. I think there's a Recess person named Phoebe. I don't know. The younger it got, I had to choose different shows. Libby says, I'm a Chiefs fan and a Dallas Cowboys fan. I mean, the Chiefs are killing the game. I mean, not killing it, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Mahomes is nipping at the heels of Brady. No, just kidding. No, it's going to take a while for anybody to really get to that level, I suppose. Remember when Nick said it's their wedding day? I feel like she stopped herself from saying our. Minnie says. Oh, my word. Time flew by. There's only 6 minutes left. Okay. Betsy A said, Big Mood was fantastic. I went from laughing uncontrollably to sobbing my eyes out. Nick's performance was amazing. Susie said, I'm allergic to cheese heads. Skol, Vikings. I mean, honestly, maybe it is like controversial for me to say it, but I was not. I'm not a fan of Rodgers. I mean, I know he's a great quarterback, but I'm not personally a fan of him. I just always felt like he was a little cocky, but that's just personal. That's just personal, not because, I mean, I know a lot of people like Aaron Rodgers. I just wasn't a fan. And maybe because he was disrespectful to Russ that one time. But anyways. And I really love Russ. So Pam Diddy, yeah, I love Big Mood. Iriana said, I always wondered what your name was. I mean, I'm fine with people calling me Bocce, though. Okay, so I'm glad there's other people who are not a fan of Rodgers. Not that I'm trying to have a group of folks that don't like Rodgers. It's just, it's one of those things where I say, some people are just not going to like me, and that's okay. Because sometimes I'm not a fan of people, and it's not like a character flaw necessarily. It's just our personalities don't jive. I just think that my personality does not jive with Aaron Rodgers. And that's it. It's not, I know he's well loved as well. So not everybody's going to like everybody. Yeah, people can still be respectful. Thank you, Cloudy Cloud. That's a really pretty donut. Taryn Ray said, but still love my Packers. Goes back to my childhood and my uncle. Yeah, you know what? That's what I love about like loyalty to football teams. There's a lot of like family stuff there. Sam Bagita said the animated film Luke is called Vienna, The Legend of Golden Hearts. Release date Christmas 2025. Oh wow, it's far away. Jessica Lynn said, I'm not watching anything but season 3 until they beat season 1, but I look forward to Big Mood in a few weeks. How much do you have to watch season 3 to beat season 1? Because people keep saying they want to beat season 1, but I'm like, how much do you have to watch of it? Because is it through only that window of time that they hold it for that thing, or is it constantly moving? Because season 1 has been out for so much longer. Unless it only judged it off the first 90 days. I don't know. I'm just wondering. Oh, okay. So yes, the 90 days only. Okay. Megan said we need about 4.5 million views a week until the 90 days. Roughly, Peneloise _ Elliott said roughly 100 million. Dang. And here I'm trying to get 3,000 to 4,000 watch hours of my videos. 100 million? Dang. Wow. TLR Vibe says we are watching Presumed Innocent on Apple Plus, and it's fantastic. 1 episode out per week right now. Oh, okay. I've never heard of it. TK is an avid Cowboys fan. Oh, my word. My nails are disgusting. Sorry about that. Minnie said it can be done, though. They did 4 million in a week. Okay. TLR Vibes says on top of Bridgerton on loop. Daniela says we're gonna reach it. Stephanie said I started putting it on in the other room even when I'm not actually watching. LOL. Betsy A says season 1 was a phenomenon. It's not even my favorite, but I think the newness of Bridgerton made it so popular. Is going to be tough to beat. Kim says thanks for the live, Phoebe. See you tomorrow. We'll see. Depends on how long that bocce tournament is. Probably though. Probably you will. I've never missed a day, even when I was sick. So I would think I would. It would be odd if I didn't. Even if I could come in only for 30 minutes, I feel like I would. But you're right. It's almost 8, like in a second. Thank y'all. I'll let you know if I win. Hopefully we win because I have a very competitive team, like super competitive, especially with my teacher. All right. Oh, thanks, Karen. You're a title giver. Thank you. I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Did I hit it? No. Oh my